Hello everybody, Happy New Year. Welcome to Better Every Shaves. I'm Eric. If this is your first time here, welcome. I cover different things, reviews, other YouTubers, fun stuff. I have some good ideas coming up. I haven't done much this year, and hopefully in 2023 I will be doing a lot more. All right, so today I have a soap that was kindly sent to me by Pasteur's, the shaving mecca in New York. I've never been there, but have seen pictures. But I was sent a couple soaps to review, and so the first one I wanted to take a look at was their Timmermann line, and this is the green scent, if you will. And my first smell of this, and scent aficionados are going to be angry at me probably with this, but it kind of has that same body as tobacco does. To me, it's not the same fragrance, but it has that same sort of like, it takes me to the same place. Like tobacco has that very floral tobacco sort of fragrance, but it's very much of that time, of that sort of like older, generation of fragrances, very floral. This to me is the first thing I get, is the same thing, just a very floral scent. And past that, a lot of other fragrances start to come in. I actually put them on the screen there for you. I'm not going to name them because I don't know them. And there are a number of fragrances in there. So anyway, the interesting thing to me, being a non-fragrance person, is that when I smell it, I get the initial hit of floral to my nose, and then when I take a second smell or a third, then I start to smell the other things. Like it sort of unpacks itself, or I'm sure there's a word for that, but there's a complexity. But I can start to smell the individual components, which I think is interesting, because a lot of soaps really, it just smells what it smells like, and I can't usually pick out specific fragrances. So this is kind of neat in that regard. Nice looking pour, very smooth. It's a harder soap. It's not super soft, but it is soft enough you can press your finger into it. And this is 4 ounces. Not sure what the cost is. I've looked at it on the site, but I just don't remember. It's somewhere in the high 20s. I think it's 27, 28, something like that. All right. So the other things I'll be using today, I was on vacation recently in Cedar Key, Florida, and this is from the Cedar Key Pottery Studio. One of the makers there made this, and it's just a flower pot. But the two things that stood out to me, three things. The color of the clay, which is kind of cool. I like that ruddy reddish sort of color. The color of the glaze, which is on the inside as well. It is just this gorgeous green. It's kind of coming through on the camera, but I don't think it's going to be exactly the same. And then the shape of it is very interesting. It's not great with this brush because it has a very wide sort of base to it and a very soft brush, or not. And so I'm kind of clanking a lot in here. So not ideal, but I was able to whip up a gargantuan lather in here. And I would say off the puck, it's a much stronger smell. I'm used to the fragrance now too. That's part of what makes it difficult. But it is, unpacked was the word that comes to mind. It's like opening up or unpacking. There's just a lot. I'm almost getting like a spicy, it's underneath of the floral. I'll have shown the scent profile, so as well as the ingredients. And so, okay, and I whipped that up with the Peregrino brush from PAA. And another new thing that I'm not going to review because I want to use it several times, Pearl sent me their K2 razor, and this is a 3-piece razor with, comes with 2 handles. This is the longer of the 2. The other one is just a little too short for me. I'm probably going to use it just to try it again. But it's kind of neat because the handle's kind of slender and long, has really sharp, strong knurling. The base is chromed, and then the top cap is like a satin finish. So a neat looking razor, and I want to use it a couple times before I really say anything about it. So, okay, let me go ahead and wet the face, do the thing. I have close to 2 days of growth, which for me is a lot. My beard grows in pretty quickly, especially just in this area, which is why when I have facial hair, that's what you see me wearing, because this is all very sparse even when I let it grow for months and months. So, okay, here we go. And I don't really do pre-shaves or anything anymore. I just don't really feel the need. These soaps today, modern soaps, are so slick and have so many ingredients, moisturizing ingredients, that a pre-shave to me just kind of seems unnecessary. Did I catch it? Almost. So I've been doing this kind of hybrid approach where I bowl lather to get a nice lather going, and then I'll sort of finish it on the face. And what's nice about that is it really lets me control exactly how the thick it is, and yeah, it works for me. All right. Oh, I should also mention that there is a second use Tatra Platinum in here, which is my absolute favorite blade. All right, let's see what we got here. I've heard some people say that this is an aggressive razor, and there's definitely blade feel. It doesn't seem to be unpleasant. Rinses pretty easily. The lather channels are pretty large and run all the way down the length of it. I'll do a detailed review and have all the specs and all that good stuff. Yeah, for me the proof is in the against the grain, so good bit of blade feel there, nothing harsh. It did reduce the beard by about 1/2 to 2/3, so it's doing its job. All right, because this lather is so wet, I don't want to put more water on my face. So I'm just gonna leave that and come back. I got it. And it's plenty thick to shave as is, but I do enjoy a little bit of friction, scrubbing. So how's everybody doing? How was your Christmas, New Year, Hanukkah? There are others that I'm forgetting. I apologize. I love that the end of the year seems to be a time of celebration for just about everyone, no matter who you are. And as I said, I went on vacation, had a really very nice time with my family, very just quiet, which is which is my speed. All right, cross the grain. Oh yeah, there's definitely some bite there. To the point where I feel like I either want to ride the cap or skin stretch. Yeah, I'm gonna ride the cap a little bit. Gotta watch the angle there, because that, I mean, it wanted to dig in, take a bite. All right. Yeah, it's actually really comfortable whenever you ride the cap. And don't let it dig. I mean, I guess that's a positive thing, right? You can see it as being, you're able to control the efficiency. And if you wanted to make it more efficient, you could. Like in that spot, I really wanted to let it grab as much as I could. My chin is already very, very smooth, which is surprising because usually it's not after the across the grain. So, all right. I'm not sure what folks got for Christmas. My wife and I really don't choose to exchange many gifts. This year I sort of broke with the stop talking with the brush in your mouth. Didn't hit my tongue. That's good. But I did break this year and ended up getting my wife a new, well, not new, a newer phone. She's not really interested in giant phones. It's just not her thing. She really appreciates smaller phones, and so she's coming from a Galaxy S7, which is a pretty small phone by today's standards. And so finding her one that actually what fit the criteria of being, it had to be a Galaxy S series phone. She's a Samsung fan, and it had to be smaller. It had to be as big a battery as possible. And I also found a phone with 12 gigabytes of memory, which is astonishing. Like, I have a Google Pixel 5a, and I think it has 8 gigs, maybe 6 or 8. And so, more memory you have, the more programs can be, or apps can be open at the same time, and you still have really snappy performance because there's enough room for them to be open at the same time. You'll notice that all phones, iPhones and Android alike, if you have too many things open and you go back to one that's been, you haven't gone to in a while, it has to sort of open it back up, and depending on how fast your phone is, you may notice that it takes a little while. And what I've seen on this phone I got her, which I ended up getting her the S20 5G, and the performance is impressive. It's from 2020, so it's not brand new, but yeah, it's amazing. It beats the performance of my Pixel 5a, which is it's getting close to 2 years. So anyway, so it was fun to get her something that she needed and wouldn't have done herself. So I'm the tech guy in the family. I'm sure a lot of you are too. So, all right, third pass, So what's nice is you saw that the amount of time I spent talking, and there's very little dissipation there. So this is an excellent soap base. All right, so that's nice. That's actually comfortable. I'm riding the cap a little bit. It sounds like that first pass got rid of the hair. Yeah, that's pretty good. And yeah, I can feel it if I tilt just the slightest bit, it'll grab. See, this cheek's not bad. This one, still a lot there. I'm just gonna say it's me. This is also why I don't use something one time and then say, oh, it's the best thing ever, or it's awful, because I really feel like it deserves a fair shake. Come on now. I don't like going over this area this much. I'm just gonna stop. All right, I'm gonna do pickups. I don't want to tear my face up. So I should say, again, not reviewing this razor yet, but the tabs are enclosed, the end, and it does feel a little wide. It's kind of giving me that like Future vibe. The Future has a really wide head, if you haven't used one of those. So it's kind of giving me that extra wide head. The Rockwell Model T or T2 also have that same feel, at least out of the razors that I've tried. All right, there's not a lot. This cheek is this must have been the angle that I had it at, because everything else is pretty good. Yeah, I'm gonna do pickups just because. And it's better to do, in my opinion, and I'll wet my face this time too, but it's better to do an actual pickup pass for my face. Get a little extra soap on there, a little bit of little slickness. Yeah, I want to do this whole cheek, just bottom of the chin there, my neck, and yeah, this side's pretty good. Maybe just that little sideburn spot right there. Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing. I guess it's a very specific angle. So let's see if I can nail it here. Okay. Yeah, there we go. Much better. So it'll grab on these angles, right? On the sharpness of my chin here. But on the flatness of my cheeks, if I really increase that angle, it doesn't really bite. But I'm having to be careful in these areas. All right, that's it. You know, that whole chasing BBS thing. I am guilty as sin, as they say. Okay, yeah, I can work with that. Let's get this. Okay, that's good. And I really don't feel any irritation, so all good things. All right, so I do a warmish rinse and then a coldish rinse. Being in Florida, so my hot water heater doesn't reach. I'm at the farthest point of the house. It reaches here, but it takes a couple minutes. And then after you turn it off, it doesn't take very long for it to not be hot again when you turn it back on. So, so I get a tepid rinse, and then I get Florida cold. Which, while I was on vacation and I was in Cedar Key, the water there is much colder, and so it was interesting to get a cold splash. And it felt good, it felt really good. I kind of missed that. All right, so I have been enjoying Thayer's, and this little sprayer is really nice. I mean, I've used this thing, 10, 15 times already, and it's down, a tiny bit, and this isn't a big bottle, so. The sprayer, it's a great way to put that on. I've seen sprayers for aftershave as well, and I think I may try that. I feel like I waste so much aftershave just dumping it in my hand, and I know it takes a while to get through 100 milliliters of aftershave, but why waste it? But yeah, it just feels like I dump it in my palm, and I have to get enough to coat my other palm, and then enough to coat my face. So, and I have, pretty big hands, so all of the area of the palms of my hand, plus, my face, it just seems like a waste. So if I could, have and I've seen smaller ones, so I'll probably get some smaller ones and be able to try that and just see if, spraying it right on the face, it has to be better. I mean, maybe the point is that it's a splash and that it's not a spray. I don't know. We'll see. All right, so I do not have the splash for this, or balm, or anything like that. No post shave. So I know this doesn't pair, and I apologize. It's all I have next to me, and I don't care because I like it. So it's PAA Droid, and I think this is black. Yes, Droid Black. I'm blind. Droid Black, it's just a really nice fragrance. To be honest, I can smell it a little, but this fragrance is not strong enough. It's just going to dissipate pretty quickly anyway, so I don't think the choice of aftershave really makes a huge difference. So yeah, this is way sweeter, and it's way sweeter than it is floral. Again, I have a terrible nose, so don't take my word for it. All right, I'm just going to use this up. There's not very much in there. Yeah, so burn, very little. I mean, no more than you usually feel. PAA, that was maybe a little too much. There's a reason that PAA call these aftershave colognes, right? Yeah. So, what the heck was I saying? Oh, the burn. I normally get burn even after a perfectly smooth shave with no irritation. I'll get a little bit of alcohol burn from, seems like particularly PAA, but I use a lot of PAA, so that's not really fair. I haven't used a ton of other things. So, anyway, it's not the worst feeling in the world, but I've noticed I'll also tend to use a balm, and I like this unscented Sterling balm. If I put it on right after, so if I were to just do it right now, or I've done it right afterward, it will burn. So somehow this activates whatever in the aftershave and just really burns. It's very uncomfortable. So if I give it a minute to dry down, it seems like that doesn't happen, or at least not as much. So that's why I'm babbling right now. I'm just killing time. Oh my. So 2022 was a bit of a tough year for me. It was better. The beginning of it was not great, but I got better throughout the year. And in the last few months in particular, November, December, I felt a lot better. And so I'm hoping that 2023 sees me being much healthier and much more active. Just a little drop there. Well, a little bigger than a drop. Yeah, that was there. It's such a fine line between not enough and too much. And even too much is not that much. So I don't feel like I'm wasting like tons and tons of product. I mean, geez, I've had this 4-ounce bottle of this I got it early last year, maybe like March. And there's gotta be half of this left still. And I use it almost every shave. And 3 months ago or so, I switched to shaving every day, or every like 28 hours, 32 hours kind of thing. And I use it pretty much every time. So sometimes I don't. Depends on the aftershave. Some aftershaves are very moisturizing. They have a lot of skin foods and things. And I kind of feel like maybe I don't need to use. There's a limit. I like to moisturize my face, but I also feel like if I gunk too much stuff on, then my skin just kind of gets greasy and gross, and I don't like that. So, all right, that's soaked in enough. And I just kind of blot off the excess. I try not to wipe too much, leave a little on. Yeah. Feels pretty darn smooth to me. All right. Get some air back on. Oh my. Okay, so this is obviously more of a traditional shaving video. Me sitting here talking to you, watching me for the full shave. It's gonna run longer than my videos normally do. I'll do these every now and then, maybe, I don't know, once a week, twice a month kind of thing. I think it's nice. I like these. I like to watch these. I think I like watching them more than I like making them, but I enjoy the full shave experience. I want to see the whole thing, and hopefully I did make the lather ahead of time. I saved you a lot of clankings. So other than that though, I showed everything I think to satisfaction. If I didn't, please let me know in the comments. And still good bit of lather left there, and I didn't use too much. And there's actually, this is so smooth, I don't think it's going to be a forever lather bowl. It might be a candy jar or something, but you can see there's a couple chunks of unused soap in there. So I got a lot of soap from a little bit of a lot of lather from a little bit of soap, which is always a good sign for me. And this is my second use of the Pearl K2 razor. And yeah, I mean, I got there. It took me a little while to kind of get, right on angle, but once I got there, it was comfortable. And then, for me, the wider heads, chunkier heads are sometimes a little challenging to kind of, especially this area, to kind of just get through there. So anyway, we got there. That's it. I'm done. I'll stop babbling and wasting your time. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate everybody who takes the time to check out my videos. I watch all of yours, and I certainly appreciate you taking the time to do it. It doesn't seem like it would be that big of an effort to stick a camera in your face and shave, but there's a lot of sort of stuff that goes on behind the scenes, and not that you need to care about any of that, but I appreciate when someone else puts the effort forth. So anyway, Happy New Year to everybody. I wish you a sincere, happy, healthy, prosperous 2023, and I will see you again very soon. Have a great day. Take care.